Her sensual voice belies the power at the heart of her lyrics. Mélissa Laveaux's music is a melting pot, bubbling with her Haitian, Canadian background, but also with history, sexuality, and the black humour that she applies to questions of life and death. Her latest album is called At My Softest, I Am Most Dangerous, and she's in the studio to tell us more. Mélissa Laveaux, hello.
Hello.
Now, this album, it's your fifth, another chapter in this anthropological exploration, artistic journey that you're on. Let's start with this title, softness, maybe vulnerability. How do you see yourself as soft, and why is it a superpower?
I think that because I was diagnosed with MS, multiple sclerosis, a few years back, people didn't expect me to write another album or to go on tour again, or they just assumed that I would just wither away. And those who know me very well know that I don't wither. And I think that if anything, being diagnosed and having a chronic illness has made me a much stronger person. I'm capable to withstand so many more things than I would have. I'm not sure if I would have been the same person dealing with the disease if it had happened to me about 10 years ago. And I think that everything that has happened to me until now has contributed to me being able to be strong, if you will, and also to be unsuspectingly strong.
Yeah, and that vitality certainly comes through in this record. Let's get a feel for some of the music on the album. This is Yemaya.
So high, I welcome it, I cry. It's joy, it's pain, it's everyone's refrain. That flame, it bleeds, it wants me and it bleeds. Unless you wanna see and knock me down.
So Yemaya, or Yemanja, she's got lots of names. She's, I think, originally a Yoruba goddess, queen of the sea, of water. I believe that song was inspired by an encounter with her. Tell us more.
Yes, when I was on tour in Brazil, specifically in Bahia, we had the morning off with my bassist and my best friend, Sébastien, and we decided to go to the beach. And I completely ignored a giant red flag telling us there's massive waves. And so I walk into the water, and I walk into the water with my glasses, because in Haiti, Yemaya or Yemonja is la sirène. And so I'm singing La Sirène, La Baleine, and that's what I always sing whenever I go into the ocean. and then it just knocks me to my knees. And I start giggling. And then another wave, before I can even get up, another wave, a very high wave, just knocks me completely over. And I lose my glasses. And I had these very expensive Ray-Bans. And takes my glasses. Thank goodness I have my backup glasses for being on stage. And I get back and I'm just cackling away. And Sebastian's like, why? You laughed so hard. I could hear you from across the beach. And I was like, because it's so funny. He's like, but you lost your glasses. I'm like, but it's like somebody just told me the best joke. And whenever I would tell a Brazilian person, they would say, oh, Yemonja's going to give you a nice gift. And I expecting money. And then I just broke up with my ex.
Oh, that was an unexpected gift. But the goddess of the water, of course, it took something from you there. And water features quite a lot on this album. It's a life-giving force, but it also can be deadly in the case of the ocean. And in Voodoo tradition in Haiti, death coexists with life a bit. It's not as taboo as it is in the West, perhaps. Death is kind of there on this latest album. Is that something that you've always been reconciled with?
I've always been reconciled with death because I grew up with parents who had a lot of their friends be murdered or killed during the dictatorship, and that's just why they ended up leaving Haiti when they were teenagers, even like in their late teens. And just in general, it's always felt as if having parents who are very, very spiritual and very, very connected to saying goodbye to people, that it never felt taboo. It was always a discussion on the table. We don't just grieve alone in our corner. We grieve as a family. We grieve as a community. And I've always felt that, and it's never left. I feel as though they've taught me how to grieve in group.
Yeah, peacefully. Well, that world of the spirits is also present in a recent film screened at the Cannes Film Festival from Haitian director Jessica Geneus, who plays the titular role, Marie-Madeleine. Now, the story takes in religion, sex work, socio-political crises in Haiti, while also spotlighting the creativity, joy, and beauty of her community. Here's a quick look at the film and a word from Jessica on her notion of freedom in art as in life.
I think freedom is one of the most pricey, most expensive thing on earth. And it's something that you have to work for every single day. So it's it's a never ending fight. And I think that's what this film shows, that my people have been fighting to be free since day one, since the day that they decided that they won't be treated as slave anymore. And I think we will continue to fight as long as this world doesn't allow people to be authentically themselves and try to impose, their perception on us. Comment il est? Oh, bébé? Non, pas bébé, l'autre jour, je me disais, t'as pas allé.
And as Jessica says, there's this idea of other people's perceptions of Haitians, of cliches, a slightly reductive vision of that society. When you look at the situation in Haiti today, how do you see it?
I see it as the consequences of the past. The West has never let Haiti forget what they've made them lose. If anybody can remember, Haiti became the first free republic after slavery in 1804, before anybody else started, and freed 5 other countries. So we lost France a lot of money. Napoleon was mad, as we say. And so it's absolutely normal that you see routinely that Haiti is so much hatred from the West, but specifically from countries who make a lot of money off of it. And to the point where I always ask people, if Haiti is so poor, why are there still soldiers from every single country? A lot from the US, a lot from France, a lot from Canada. Why are there still soldiers? They cost a lot of money. All the foreign aid that's being sent to Haiti actually is just being sent back to the West. From all the money that was sent during the earthquake, that was actually rediverted to private nonprofits. Haiti still keeps making them a lot of money. So if you want to follow the money, follow where they keep investing it.
Paradoxical situation there. Now, you've explored your Haitian roots through your music, 2018, Radio Siouel. You're now performing at an event with writer and journalist Rokhaya Diallo, which asks artists to map their thoughts. This is at the Anthropocene Festival in Lyon. Tell us about Mélissa Laveaux's personal geography, your mind map, as it were.
It was very hard for me to decide. I was flipping between 2 topics, and finally I decided the trip I took to the Matopos in Zimbabwe a few years ago, a couple of months actually after Brazil, and I was offered to meet different grandmothers who were competing in a festival to paint their kitchens. And each grandmother, I think, taught me something really, really beautiful. And I think the most beautiful message was the last one. She was singing with her son, getting over depression. And at some point she stopped and she looked at me and said, I knew my depression would end because everything ends. And I was like, whoa, that's heavy. And then I was like, how could you say that when we're staring at stones, boulders, massive rocks that have been there in the same spot for 500 million years since volcanic eruption? And she was like, everything ends.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the final point. And I figured it would really tie in well with the topic of my album, which is Every Time I Almost Died. And so I wanted to explore everything, the riches that they offered.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting, eclectic map: Zimbabwe, Canada, Haiti, France, etc. And just briefly, I know that you're also participating at the first Fier or Pride Gala here in Paris alongside French artists like Eddie Di Preto, Pomme, Lucky Love. Your previous album also referenced lesser-known stories of LGBTQ plus non-binary people. Tell us why those stories, those figures have been so meaningful for you.
Because it tells me that we've always been here. You always hear people say, oh, this trans thing is new. And it's like, no, the word trans is recent, but people have always been there. Intersex people have always been there. Lesbians and gays. We've always been there. Bisexuals, I'm sorry. I will not forget the bisexuals. We've always been there, and we've always found ways of building community and finding joy. And I think that's what the gala is going to be. It's the first edition of the gala. I'm really proud to be part of it. The theme is La Vie en Rose, so everybody must wear pink.
Wow, sounds exciting. Well, finally, we asked you for a cultural tip, and you pointed us in the direction of the work of Henry Taylor, a painter. What do you love about his work?
I absolutely love that he does what I like to do with my songwriting, is that he likes to bring a dialogue between the past and the future. So he has this one painting that's really beautiful. That's Miles Davis and Cicely Tyson when they were married, visiting the Obamas. These people have not existed in the same timeline, and that marriage is from a certain timeline, a short timeline even. And I love that he has this dialogue. And on the last album, the fourth album, Mama Forgot Her Name Was Miracle, I kept having conversations between different artists. And since he also refers a lot to the Harlem Renaissance, I love to refer to the Harlem Renaissance. And Faith Ringgold was just exhibited in the Picasso Museum last year, and it was her first exhibition before dying at like 86 years old internationally. For me, it's really important that we don't forget the past, and that we are enriched by everything that's been learned. There's nothing to be lost. Everything is to be transformed or to be learned from.
And weaving them into these imagined utopias. Mélissa Laveaux, thank you so much
Thank you,
for
Olivia.
joining us today. We'll leave you a look at Taylor's vivid, bold scenes. They're on show at the Picasso Museum here in Paris. Otherwise, do join us next time here on Arts 24 and on our social media too.